Multi-Channel Order Manager webinar covering intelligent order inventory and customer management made easy. We're going to cover our multi-channel order manager solution. I'm going to cover a live online demonstration. Today's agenda, we'll talk a little bit about our company, Freestyle Solutions, who we are, some of the benefits of why you should use an order management system, the highlights of M.O.M. I call it M.O.M., Multi-Channel Order Manager, M.O.M. for short, and then live demo. If there are any questions that come in, down on the lower right-hand corner of your GoToWebinar panel, there's a section that says questions. I have a separate monitor. If you don't mind, you can type those questions in if it happens to be on a particular screen that I'm on or a particular topic. So who we are. Freestyle Solutions has an inventory and order management solution that we've developed over the last 30+ years. We currently have just over 2,000 merchants on our latest edition of M.O.M., M.O.M. version 9, that also have an active support contract. We were started by retailers. Our founders, actually, one of them wrote sheet music and played at Carnegie Hall, and the other one was getting his second master's degree in Stevens Institute of Technology here in New Jersey. And he had asked his brother, can you write me a little program back in the DOS days to keep track of all of his inventory of the sheet music. They started giving that program out to their friends, and everyone started saying, hey, can you add this? Can you add this? This is great. Can you add this field? And we kind of kept that same mentality throughout the years, and the system has evolved into what you're about to see shortly. Historically, M.O.M. has been an on-premise solution where we will either ship you out a disk or you can download it, built around your specific requirements and configuration. We also have our cloud-based solution, which is known as Freestyle Commerce, that was released just about a year and a half ago. Today's presentation will be focusing on M.O.M. However, tomorrow, same time, there will be a presentation that will cover Freestyle Commerce. We're very well known with a strong reputation for our inventory management, as well as order processing and some of the CRM functionality that most businesses require. We are fully PCI compliant, and I'll point some of those features out to you as we go along. Some of our sample clients are Bigelow, the tea company, you might see at local supermarkets, Randall Berkey. We have companies that sell cupcakes like Georgetown Cupcake, cookies, Carolina Cookie Company, very large items like bedding from shopbedding.com. We have people who sell cosmetics from E. Burnham Cosmetics. Cheaper Than Dirt sells sporting equipment, electronic and automotive marine electronics from the GPS store. And our largest client actually is a fulfillment center that's based out of South Africa, and they have over 450 concurrent user licenses. That means at any given time, 450 of their employees are logged into the system at the same time. Now, the beauty of M.O.M., and the reason why I'm showing you this, is that it doesn't matter how large or small your business is. If you're a small cookie company and you only need 1 or 2 or 3 users that would log in, all the way up to 450, the system is scalable. So most businesses typically like to grow, and as you grow, the system is scalable. It'll grow with you. And it is built on a SQL platform. So some of the benefits of an order management system like M.O.M. is, like I said, most businesses typically like to grow. And we know it is 5 times harder to gain new clients than it is to keep existing clients. And I'm going to show you some of the neat features that are built into M.O.M. on how we can continue to grow your business. You want to be able to efficiently fulfill and ship orders. We have the capability of doing wireless barcode scanning. We have the ability of doing extra levels of quality assurance to make sure that an individual is responsible for picking and packing a particular order, and then even scanning the items to make sure that they go into the appropriate boxes. During this demonstration, I do not have a scanner connected to my machine, but I will point out where those particular features would come into play. Many of our customers sell their products on multiple channels. For instance, Magento, Amazon, eBay, they take orders over the phone. Some are traditional catalogers. Some have physical retail stores. And when you think about it, if you have your own e-commerce platform that may not be Magento or Amazon, you have multiple databases. And one of the things that people do is ship their products. Some of you may drop ship your orders, but when you ship your products, you probably use the most common carriers like UPS, FedEx, the United States Postal Service, and then when you want to process at the end of the day, you'll post over to an accounting package like Sage or QuickBooks is what a good majority of our users tend to use, but there's a number of accounting packages that you can connect to using our M.O.M. system. We do have a totally open API, which allows you to access the fields within the M.O.M. system that are completely open, with the exception of the PCI compliant required fields, which would store the credit card data. Now, when you think about it, if you have all of these databases and all these programs that are supposedly running your business, what happens is none of them really communicate with each other. And what you need is a system like M.O.M., which will become the primary system of record, which will allow you to handle all of those channels, be able to synchronize your inventory. So if you happen to take a web order and somebody orders 10 of a particular product, you probably want your Magento, your Amazon, and your eBay store to know, hey, now there's 10 less. You know, if you had 100 in stock, now there's 90 available. Same thing goes if you have a retail store. You probably want the customer service reps to be able to know, hey, we just sold 10 of them, 10 are committed to a particular order, so there's really 90 now available to sell. So that's why we manage our inventory accurately, and we keep track of a number of different ways to run profit by product reports and additional performance analysis in regards to a manager's dashboard and a number of other ways, which we will cover during today's presentation. So some of our partners that we have on the left-hand side, you'll see are some of the e-commerce channels. Magento happens to be the largest e-commerce platform in the world. 33% of all websites today are built on the Magento platform, either their enterprise or their community edition. Community edition is free. Some of our smaller businesses tend to use Miva. We also have direct integration with Commerce V3, Big Commerce, and a number of others. We also offer our own e-commerce platform, which is known as SiteLink. So I've already mentioned FedEx, UPS. For those small businesses that tend to want to get their products into companies such as Walmart, Home Depot, Bed Bath & Beyond, you would pretty much need to use an EDI, an electronic data interchange, in order for that purchase order to be accepted. And Bed Bath & Beyond more than likely is not going to be sending you a PDF purchase order. So we have an EDI partner known as HighJump. Like I said, we directly integrate with the U.S. Postal Service. Most of our users tend to use the Endicia platform, but if there are other third-party 3PL shipping carriers, you can also use the Harvey software. Now, on the right-hand column, you'll see that we integrate in regards to payment processing, Authorize.net, PayPal, Intuit. Like I said, we can post over there, and Sage 50 is now what the old Peachtree is now known as. So enough talking about it. We might as well jump right into it. This particular slide open at the end if there are any questions that do come up, so you can get in touch with our sales team. But let's just go right over here, and I'll open up M.O.M. Now, in this particular version of M.O.M., I am set up as owner-operator. I have full control. So the first thing I want to point out is this maintain menu. For those of you that are the owner or an executive at the company that you're working for, this is probably where you're going to give very restricted, limited access to this particular menu. You'll be able to set up your advertising promotion codes. You'll be able to create your link to your accounting package with our GL interface, set up your sales tax tables. Most importantly would be the system information and the global parameters. Now, I just want to jump in here briefly and walk you through a few things. Some of our customers will print out individual pick tickets for each order. Some will print out a master pick ticket. The real difference is if you did an individual pick ticket for an order and you had 5 orders, you're going to get 5 sheets of paper. If you have a master pick report, it will show on different sheets of paper. If 5 different customers ordered the same item, it's going to show you quantity of 5 of that particular item, and it'll associate it with the order number. It won't necessarily detail the customer's name and address and all that. So the pick ticket and the way you configure your system is entirely up to you. Everyone who uses M.O.M. uses it a little bit differently. Some of our customers will combine invoices with packing slips, kind of killing two birds with one stone. In this configuration, I am using an L form, which is a laser sheet that fits in any standard laser or inkjet printer. And on the top right-hand corner, it actually has the 4x6 certified peelable box label that works with UPS, FedEx, and the United States Postal Service. So however you configure your system is up to you. The shipping is really easy. In my configuration, I'm linked to UPS, FedEx, and the Post Office. Just to show you the settings, this is where you would plug in your UPS account information, and that's all built in as a standard feature of our M.O.M. system. Not necessarily going to go through every one of these tabs, but I do want to go into the accounting. One nice way to grow your business is to offer a nice points and rewards or customer loyalty program. So for instance, a lot of people tend to offer very high discounts, 30%, 40% off. I think that's a bad idea because it devalues your products. But you can tend to live with a 15% discount. So if you take a look at your average order, the average sale price you can run a legacy report out of your current system. You might find that I'm just going to make a round number as $100. What we can say is for every $15 that they spend, they're going to accrue 1 point. And we have the capability in M.O.M. to say, show me a list of everybody who has between 1 and 1,000 or whatever number of points, and then you can send an email blast to them that says, dear first name, if you don't use your points between January 1st and December 31st, you're going to lose them. So what this is going to do is re-engage those customers to get them to come back. So hopefully it will help you generate new orders. Now I am also using QuickBooks Special Edition, so I have the ability of posting over either the summary data, which would be the bottom line, the cost of goods sold, sales tax collected, shipping charges, etc., or some of you may want to send over the actual transactional detail. What did Mary Smith buy? How did she pay for it? What was the sales tax? What was the shipping charges? And so on. So you have the capability to do that. It's entirely up to you. We do support average cost as a accounting method as well as LIFO and FIFO. So whichever one you determine would be best to fit your business model, this is the way that you can configure that. Now, the order processing design. Not sure how each one of you or how large each one of your businesses are, but in this particular configuration, I am going to slow things down and use the Packer's Workstation. You'll notice that there's a few checkboxes that an order must be have its items barcode scanned as they're packed. So we'll talk about that when I get to the Packer's Workstation. Maybe you weigh every single box as it's being packed, and then again you can see down here enable wireless picking. So if you want to have your warehouse people go out, scan a pick ticket, and then it'll show the quantity, the different items that need to be picked, they can go over and they can confirm that they're picking the right items. So it makes, again, an extra level of quality assurance to make your lives a lot easier. We also have a dashboard, and in the dashboard, you can put orders on hold. So for instance, I have like an order entered by a trainee down here down the bottom left. And if I don't have to necessarily sit over that person's shoulder, they'll take the phone order as they normally would, take the customer's name down, add the stock item, put a shipping method and a payment method. But before that order actually gets processed, it will be held up pending a manager's authorization. And you can set different people up within your organization as managers who happen to have authorization rights. And then that will allow them to go in, review any orders, and then they'll get to be released. If it's not normal for you to get an order that exceeds, and I just chose $1,000, you might want to review that order, maybe reach out to the customer just to make sure that there were no errors when they entered the order on the web, or that the customer service rep didn't enter in the improper quantity. Maybe you want to flag all first-time orders. This is very useful in the event that you want to make it personal. A new customer comes in, maybe you want to reach out to them and you just want to say, hey, thank you for your first order. In regards to fraud controls, you might want to flag all international orders. So just again, to reach out to them, confirm that it in fact is a legitimate order and the credit card data is all correct. you'll be able to go ahead and take that order right there, and you can release it. So there's a number of ways that you can configure the M.O.M system. It's easily customizable, even though we will build the system around your specific parameters. If you don't have more than one warehouse, you're not going to necessarily need the advanced warehouse module. If you're not going to plan on doing any scanning when you receive inventory, or if you don't plan on doing any forecasting based on previous history of sales, whether it goes back year or monthly or weekly, then you more than likely would not use our advanced inventory module. But that's the nice thing about it, is as time goes on, your business model may change, and then you have the ability of adding those features later on. So with that being said, we do have a direct integration to a number of e-commerce platforms. So I'm just going to jump into the defining the e-commerce manager's setting. For now, we'll look at Amazon. How many of you sell on Amazon today? Okay, great. So if you're selling on Amazon, maybe you also sell with Fulfillment by Amazon. We also have a direct feed to FBA. So what you would do is plug in your merchant seller name, your merchant ID, your marketplace ID. They all now, Amazon requires you to use the Amazon Marketplace Web Services. So we have that set up. And you'll notice that I have 6 different options down here that I can process. If I would like to, I can enable these to be completed automatically. So as an order is generated on your Amazon store, it'll automatically download into the M.O.M system. It'll upload back to the Amazon store that you received the order. After you go through the pick, pack, and shipping stage of packing it, it will upload back to Amazon, so your customer can log into your Amazon store and they'll be able to view the package tracking details page. All the details to show that the order was completed and shipped on that particular date. In addition to that, you can set new products up within M.O.M and publish those products up to Amazon. So I'll show you, there's some fields within the stock item screen that allow you to do that. Now, what I guess I'd like to do next is go through some of the product information, and then we'll create an order. So the first thing you'll do is you can click on the little bicycle, or you can go into Product, Maintain Stock Items. So it brings me to the same screen. Here, if I just hit Close and then click on the bicycle, it brings me to the same screen here. I have a lot of stock items, so we'll figure out which one we'd like to use today as a demo. So let's look at an iPhone. Might as well go electronic. We'll have an iPhone 6. Beautiful. So I have an iPhone. Some of you may sell products that happen to be serialized, like these iPhones. You might want to require that items are scanned as they're being shipped, and scan that barcode so that you know what the serial number is in case, in the event that there's an issue with it, a customer can get back in touch with you. You can confirm, yes, you received the right item. Let me look up the item based on the item code and the actual serial number. So some of you may sell items that have different size color variations. Some of you may have service items or allow drop shipping. Many of our customers tend to put together kits, and we have a couple ways we could set up a kit. We either call it a breakout, where it will break out the components of the kit. So best example would be, let's say, Mother's Day or Valentine's Day. You put together a kit, and it's made up of 2 bottles of wine, some cheese, some crackers, and I don't know, if you got mail DVD. Well, on the invoice, on the packing slip, if you combine them, you might want to show so that the customer who's receiving that particular gift basket will know the components that they're expected, what they're expected to receive. Now, alternatively, we have the ability to create a composite item, and this composite becomes available. Now, a composite item will show just the standard one-line item, Mother's Day gift basket. It does not break out the components on the packing slip. So the customer will just see, like, for instance, you assemble a 10-speed bike. You don't necessarily need to put the crank, the shaft, the handlebars, the brakes, and all the other components, nuts, bolts, and screws. That would take up 5 or 10 different pages. So what you can do is just have one line item, one 10-speed bike, and you can create it that way. As far as your suppliers go, you can have a current unit cost basis. You can also create different purchase levels. So in this example here, I purchased this from Acme Supplier Company. I call it an iPhone 6, but maybe they call it some separate SKU. Now this is significant because when I create a purchase order, I want my supplier at Acme to know what item I'm buying. And then later on, a couple days later down the week, when I receive that particular item, I want to know what it is. And it'll come on the actual purchase order show both the supplier ID and it will show my internal ID. You'll notice down here that we have an option for equivalent unit SKU. I can't tell you how many clients that we have that will sell items, and the best example for most of you would be like a case of soda, a case of Coca-Cola we'll use as an example. The case has a barcode itself, and that represents 12 cans. But inside the case, it's made up of 12. So the equivalent unit SKU, if I was to sell soda, would be 12. I can put that in here. Everyone is a little bit different. Same concept goes with if you sell cigars. You know, a box of cigars may have 100 cigars, but you might sell them as individual sticks. So you can set it up so equivalent unit SKU is 100, and it basically represents the ratio between when you create a purchase order and then when you receive that inventory, what mom should recognize as how many you have of the individual items that are actually available for sale. So you can set little things up like that. In regards to drop shipping, if I did drop ship this iPhone, I'd be able to click on this little checkbox and the supplier where I would get it from, and then mom would allow automatically, it'll fire off a drop ship purchase order. In regards to pricing, my normal retail price for this iPhone is $334. So what you can do if you want is you can establish a selling price threshold. Now, what this allows is for your customer service reps to be restricted from going over a particular amount. You know, that you may not necessarily want them to discount a percentage above the current unit cost, or maybe you don't want them to offer a discount above the unit cost basis. So you have that, or you can just specify a specific dollar amount. Now, under special situation pricing down here, you can create new ones, and this is really interesting. This is where you can create what we call customer type codes, minimum quantity, buy 5 you get this price, buy 10 you get this price, etc. So I'm just going to hit the F2 button, and it's going to show me a bunch of customer type codes that I've created. So for each of you, you'll be able to create your own customer type codes. In this, I'll just call it a wholesaler, and if you buy a quantity of 1, you can get it for, I can change it to a specific unit price, or I can give it a particular discount. So let's just say the normal price is $334. Let's just make it $287.50. All right, so just keep an eye on those two numbers, $334 and $287.50. And we're going to come back to that. Another thing that people like to do, and you probably received the postcards in the mail from Bed Bath & Beyond or any of your favorite stores. If I hit F2 one more time, it'll show me a list of all of the source keys. Now what these represent are how did you hear about us? So maybe you want to attach a promo code. Maybe you advertise in a particular magazine and you're offering 15 or 20% off. When a customer places an order on that particular over the phone, your customer service rep or even on the website can ask, how did you hear about us? And you can enter in that source key and it'll trigger that special discount. Okay, so for this particular scenario, again, I'm just going to leave it at the simplest form based on the customer type of W. Now, what's separate from a source key, how did you hear about us? And this really lets moms stand out because we have really powerful reporting tools. Of course, we have the profit by product report where you can specify a certain time frame based on the order date or the ship date. You can select certain products. You can even select certain product classes. But what we also like to want to know is the order type. So what we can say is, and I'll just hit F2 here again, is where did the order come from? Was it a phone order? Was it an eBay order? Was it an FBA order? Was it a point of sale order? So when you do run that profit by product report or even your web store, when you run that profit by product report, you can sort it based on the order type. So you'll be able to find out, is your web store generating more money? If you only brought in $100,000 this month, of that $100,000, how much came from the web? How much came from eBay? How many placed orders over the phone? If you tend to find that more and more orders are coming over the phone and less orders are being placed over the web, Maybe there's a problem with your product descriptions. Maybe you should change the look and feel of your website. Maybe it's not optimized. Maybe what you should do is something like one of our customers, Pulse TV, did, is just add a short little 30-second YouTube clip and embed that into the stock item description on your web page, so that when they go to the site and they look at that particular product, they can either see it being assembled or they can see it in action. So you can do some nice things like that. You can also create an order promotion and set a special price start date, so that if you know ahead of time, next week we're going to have this promotion, it's going to hit at midnight, you can start it on that particular date. You just click the little calendar and then you can highlight whatever date you want. And then it ends at midnight or 11:59 on this particular date. So you'll be able to do that. But just keep in mind, if you're a wholesaler and you buy at least one of these, you're going to get it for $287.50. And we'll come back to that later on. So I'll go ahead and save that now. In regards to more info, you can put some additional information here. This is useful for the customer service rep. I'm just going to put in CSR. If you happen to sell any books, you might pay out royalties. You can put in the royalty payment based on the selling price. Maybe it's a certain percentage on the gross profit, or maybe a per unit kicker. Same concept goes with commissions. If you want to allow mom to calculate the commissions for your sales team, you can put it in based off the selling price, the gross profit, or per unit kicker. Now, this is also where you can assign some specific points and rewards that are associated to this specific product. So if you buy this product, you gain and accrue X number of points. So you can put in a value here. Or when you purchase, it requires you to apply X number of points for this particular item. We have many companies that sell automotive products. We have companies that sell books. We have companies that sell clothing and handbags and so on. What we allow you to do, there's an advanced search criteria where you can create and title these fields. There's 4 advanced search fields that are customizable by each one of our customers. So in this example, I just put in author, model, make, year, just to give an example. If you sold books, author, publisher, genre, you might want to put in there. If it happened to be a clothing line, it might be the stylist or whatever the case may be. So you have the ability to look up items and search for, okay, show me a list of all Stephen King books, for instance. And it'll make looking up products much easier for your customer service reps. We also allow you to do some type of customization, custom line item information. What that is maybe you embroider a particular shirt. If you sell certain jewelry, you might want to know what would you like engraved on a particular piece. So you can require that an item gets some special prompt for the custom information. You have that capability. You could tie that into the, if it was an iPhone and I want to put my name on the back of it, I can put that on there. And then whether it's a web order or a phone order, it will prompt what name would you like to put here, and that's the message that you can type in right here. Now, we also have many customers that sell dietary supplements, or wine or cheese or pretty much books, anything that you can enable a club membership plan. Now, the club membership plan is really cool because it generates orders automatically. So if I want to join a Wine of the Month club, okay, I don't want to have to place 12 orders. I don't want to call you every single month and have, you create an order over the phone. I want to call you in January or whenever, and then if it goes on for a year, maybe it goes on for 6 months, maybe it goes on indefinitely until the customer cancels it, and you can customize your club plans so that whatever time period you like, the orders will automatically be generated. It'll print out a pick ticket for you. Mom will print out the shipping label, the packing slip, and then email out a shipping confirmation notice. So that's another way, another second way. So if we enable points and rewards, yeah, it should generate new orders for us. If we enable the club membership plan, I'm sure we can come up with a way that we can find some of the different products that you sell and allow the customer to join the club, and then the system will automatically generate those orders. So, whether you sell flowers and I want to be the best husband in the world, I can have flower of the month, and I can have it delivered to my wife's office, and I don't have to place 12 orders. I look like a super husband, and all the girls are jealous in the office because she just received, every month she'll get a new bouquet of flowers, which is pretty special. So that's a feature that's built in. Now, SiteLink. I mentioned SiteLink, which is Freestyle Solutions' own e-commerce platform. We host it on the Amazon Web Services. If you don't want to necessarily switch your web store over to SiteLink, not a big deal. These fields are all open to you. And you'll notice that there's a built-in HTML editor here. We have the ability to put in the meta tag for the product title, the page title. The short description, what you see here, is what would be displayed on the product listing page. Okay, so if you have a department and you call it phones, and there's 12 different phone options that are there, this short description would be what would display on that listing. When you go and click on this particular iPhone, it will show all of the actual details in this particular full description, which you can see also supports HTML. This is where if you did want to put in a little HTML video, you can go ahead and you can cut and paste. Usually YouTube allows you to embed. They'll give you a little code. You can cut and paste that. So you don't have to be a web developer anymore. You can just literally cut and paste that embed code and pop it right into your full description right there. Selling tools. If I wanted to, I can put in keywords. This is where my SEO keywords would necessarily go. We had a customer of ours that found that there was a lot of people during Christmas that were searching Xmas for whatever reason. And he was getting, what they were getting was no products found. So what he did was he went into the different items that were associated with Christmas, and he added, of course, Christmas, and then he added Xmas, X-miss in there, so that no matter what the customer put in, some results would show up on that particular page. And you can also have different images associated with it. You can also put these products up on eBay if you want. And if you haven't noticed, everything associated with this particular product is all synchronized. So if it's synchronized with your phone orders, with your retail store orders, with your web orders, with your eBay orders, with your Magento orders, the beauty of it is now you're dealing with one system of record. Okay, everything can be all synced. And I'll just click on the e-com tab here, and it shows me all the Amazon details. Now, if you're telling me that you have 20,000 listings already up on Amazon, don't worry. You don't have to populate these particular fields for all 20,000 of those SKUs. During implementation, what we're going to do is we're going to use our import-export module, and we're going to import all your stock item information. The name, the price, the weight, the length, width, height, so we can get the dimensional weight and everything calculated correctly. Change this 5S. I can, make this a 6 here. What you can also do is put in the different categories. If it's under electronics, consumer electronics, product type, I could call it, a phone, and then go into the actual item type and really break it down. So you can select all the different categories that this particular item should go into, and you're able to literally with one click publish right from within here if you want, or I'll show you, you can actually do that in a batch as well. Extended information, as far as your inventory goes, do you want to synchronize the inventory? Most people do. You can reserve certain inventory if you publish it up to Amazon. Maybe you always want to have 10 available so you don't get those stockouts or what most people call back orders. So you can enable that. Any additional questions in regards to the stock item? Okay, wonderful, fantastic. So we're doing good, moving along. So we'll go ahead and say yes here. I want to take this away. I don't want it to be a composite, and I will go ahead and click on Save. So let's take a look at a customer record, and you'll notice there's a whole bunch of fields that are available here. I can look up a customer by their zip code, 07054, and it'll show me a list of all the customers. If I want, I can look them up by their phone number. So I'll just put in 800-858-3666, and it shows me a list of all the customers that are there. Now I selected this particular company. Nope, wrong one. I can go into the next one. I can continue to, easily I could see it shows me a list of everybody who happen to have that phone number. But for this particular demo, let's go in and we'll look for anybody who has FAN in their name. All right, great. So we have Joe Pantozzi. Now, I'm listed here twice. Now, why is that? You'll notice the address here is 9 Campus Drive, but when I highlight this one, I have 11D Commerce Way. Now, there's two different addresses. The reason for that is it's not a duplicate record. And going back to, let's say you did sell dietary supplements, I don't know, again, where each one of you are located, but here in New York and in New Jersey, we have what we call snowbirds. And it's typically the senior citizens. What they do is they are retired, and in the summer season, they come home to their New York address. But once it gets cold, they fly down to their house in Florida. And, you know, while they're retired, they may be playing golf, maybe they play some tennis, and because of that activity, they have, I don't know, some arthritis pain. And what they need to use is your supplement or your cream that's going to help them with their arthritis pain. Now, if you created a club plan and they joined your club plan, the system is smart enough to know, hey, during this time period, Joe no longer lives at his 11D Commerce Way address. He's now living at the 9 Campus Drive address. So it'll know, hey, we need to ship this to that address so you can continue to get your supplement or your arthritis cream, which is pretty cool. So that's built in, standard feature. Now, if you notice here, I have a W associated with this particular customer record, and I have the ability to store email, best time to call. Okay, imagine that you have customers all over the world, global. When you set Mom up, you're going to put in your address. So it's going to know what you're starting, where your base is, where your headquarters is. I have a customer in this example that happens to be in New Zealand, and he told me, you know what, Joe, I don't come into the office until 10:30 New Zealand time, 10:30 a.m. New Zealand time. I have no idea what 10:30 New Zealand time is, but Mom has that capability of automatically selecting it. So I just choose New Zealand Standard, and it knows 10:30 on the East Coast is 5:30 in New Zealand. So I can now connect this with my Outlook calendar. So if those of you that are using Outlook, you'll be able to easily keep track of any scheduled follow-up calls. And I'll show you the built-in CRM features that we have as well. Under orders and purchases, they're basically very similar, much the same. You can see that if there are any orders in different statuses, here I have a few that I prepared ahead of time that are ready to pack. Here I happen to have a quotation that I saved. You know, here if a customer calls in and says, you know, I placed an order, but it never shipped, or I never received it, I can go back and say, all right, let me, you know, do a double check here and click on the order. Oh, I see you bought this HPI Lamborghini, a nice little remote control car. What was it, a gift for your nephew? Yeah, okay, great. Let me check the packaging, and I have the package tracking number there. Now, I can read that to the customer, but more importantly, I can just simply click on Track Package, and it's going to go out and open up whatever my default browser is. In my case, I'm using Google Chrome, and it's going to automatically populate in the URL the tracking number, and it's also going to put in the on the UPS page where you can type in the tracking number. It does that all automatically. So you can see up here in the URL that it already has that. I'm not really shipping little remote control cars, but you get the idea. So that's why it's, you know, taking a little bit longer. UPS cannot find that particular tracking number. But had that been a real tracking number, it would say it was signed by Mary, it's out for delivery, you know, it was delayed due to whatever, you know, held up at customs, whatever the case may be. This really is the only time I'm going to leave Mom, just to show you this tracking information. Everything else I can do right within the Mom system. So we'll go ahead and we'll save this order. The next thing over here in account, wow, Joe's got a whole bunch of things that are past due. So one of the ways that I can record a payment for him is I'm going to go ahead and just click on record a payment. What does he owe me? $225.18. So I'm just going to say that he mailed me in a check, and I will put in whatever his check number was for the amount of $225.18. And I'll go ahead and I will apply that and create a transaction. It's really that easy. Okay. Sometimes if you allow wholesalers to get like invoicing, what they'll do is they'll mail you a check for like I don't know, $1,000, but it's associated with a whole bunch of orders. So in that case, you know, you might go in, record a payment. Maybe they paid via electronic check, a credit card, or whatever. But imagine it that they sent you that $1,000 check. You can go in, do check payment, put in a number here, and for this one, I could say $39.88, and then I can apply the amount of $39.88, and I can apply that to his order, create a transaction, and then continue, go into the next one, go into the next order until that $1,000 is all paid off. Okay, on the financial tab. Now, in the global settings, which I kind of showed you a little bit earlier, where you were able to configure M.O.M based on your business process, what you can do is restrict who has access to certain areas within the program. And I'll actually show you that after we create the order for this customer, Joe Fantozzi. What I'd like to point out, though, is you don't necessarily need everybody to see, all the people in your organization to know the gross spend or what your gross profit is. Maybe this particular customer prefers email only. You know, they want to go green, so he expects any invoices to be sent out electronically. So you can set that up. Maybe he wants a copy of both. He wants you to print it and email it. So it's entirely up to you. So you can set that up. The email preferences, does he want it as an HTML document? Does he want it as a PDF? And M.O.M has the built-in converter, so it'll convert it to a Word document or, you know, a PDF file. So you can do that too. Again, if you allow invoicing, this is where you'd be able to specify what their credit limit is. Yes, I have an astronomical number here just because I use this for my own demos, and I prefer to at least offer a nice credit so I never have to worry about being credit risk, which will flag the customer as bad credit. So if you're one of your customer service reps goes and looks up this particular customer, hey, I need to get a manager on the phone. You know, they don't even have to tell them why, but at least it'll give them, you know, the heads up that this guy's, you know, usually he's late on his payments, so you can flag him as a bad credit risk. The demographics, okay, probably our most valuable feature within the M.O.M system. One of the ways that every single one of our customers tends to use the program a little bit differently. Of all the companies and all the industries that use M.O.M, there's always something unique about your customers that you want to know. So we have close to about 8 million fields, from the supplier, on the order, on the stock item, all through the processing, and you know, there's always something that we didn't think of. And we want you to have the ability to add those fields. So you can create your own fields, and that's what we call customer demographics. So if you want to know what somebody's favorite video is or what their favorite cuisine is, you can create it as a drop-down menu. Let's say you sell jewelry. I could have put this on the previous page, but you know, you can pretty much get an idea of who's male or female. But what you would do is you could say, show me a list of everybody who's male, whose anniversary is in March, and you do this in February. And then you can send out an email blast that says, dear first name, don't forget your anniversary next month. And then here's a link to you know, a nice tennis bracelet for your wife, or the earrings that go along with it. And so now, you know, the customer, Joe or whoever, is receiving that email, and he says, wow, that's fantastic. I can place the order right now. I can do it. I didn't forget my anniversary again this year, so I'm not going to be sleeping in the doghouse. And Mom basically just saved his marriage. Alternatively, you can say, show me a list of all women whose anniversary is in March, and you can say, hey, I think your husband might like this, you know, sports watch. Excellent. Some of our customers, like I said, do sell cookies or they sell cupcakes, and you might want to create a field, and you can name it, not necessarily favorite artist, but you can name it allergy, allergy 1, allergy 2, allergy 3. And you come out with this new delicious chocolate chip peanut butter cookie. And the last thing that you want to do, and what a lot of businesses do wrong, is they'll go ahead and they'll mass email everybody in the database. So if you have a good email marketing program like eWay or iPost or Constant Contact or MailChimp, usually there's a report that will show how much money each email generated. And if your reports typically shows .000000001 cent, you're doing it wrong. But what you can do is target your customers. You could say, hey, we came out with this new chocolate chip peanut butter cookie, but I want to exclude everybody who happens to have a peanut allergy. And, if you sent it to somebody who can go into anaphylactic shock, more than likely they're not going to buy that from you. They're not going to order from you again. So you can exclude them. And you're going to see that number, that .0000001 change. It might go to 15 cents an email. Instead of sending it to 25,000 names, you send it to the 6,000 names, people who like peanuts, people who like chocolate chip and peanut butter. So you can create, again, your own fields. And I just happen to have a picture. If you want to add pictures, you can do that. Select them, add it to the customer record. So here I just, chose a picture of my wife, Heidi Klum. But the point of it is that it allows you as a customer to build your own database, your own fields that allows you to utilize this information and target those customers to get them to come back. The contacts and addresses, so here I have a number of people who I've sent gifts to. Like I said, if I double click on Dina, there's some date restrictions. So those snowbirds, remember I told you about the snowbirds? This is where you can say begin using this address on and then stop using this address after, or from this month and day to this month and day, they're not going to be there, so begin using that particular address. So it's real easy. You could set that up, and you can have an unlimited number of contacts underneath here, gift recipients, and so on. What's strange is that there's a lot of programs out there that do not have the ability of having what we call a complex order, where you can have one order with more than one ship to. So I might want to, like again, Mother's Day, I might want to send the Mother's Day basket to my mom, to my mother-in-law, to my wife, of course, to my sister-in-law, to my sister, and I can create one order with 10, 15, 100 different line items all going to different addresses. So I don't have to sit there and re-enter all the data over and over and over again. I can create one order, charge the card one time, and they'll all receive their orders on time for Mother's Day, which is great. Now, the contacts and addresses, or contact history. This is the CRM. Many companies that have come over and switched to M.O.M., they told me that they used ACT. And you can see here I have a whole bunch of call now, call now, call now. So what I can do is I can create a new contact, and I could say, you know what, I want somebody in my organization to call Dina at 10:30 in the morning, schedule it for, and I could select, these are my employees. These are the people in my organization. So I can choose Robert, and I want him to call Dina and, ask how the necklace or earrings, were. And I could schedule that out for, the 19th and save it. Now that will show up on Robert's Microsoft Outlook calendar, and it will show up in his call box because M.O.M. has a built-in telemarketing or contact management module feature built in. If I did call and I want to review the proposal, he was supposed to get 25% off, so I can, put down here, spoke to Joe. If I spelled it right. And he placed the order. And I can go ahead and I can complete that call. All right, so we're good there. Special pricing, again, is just more if a customer was to receive any special situation pricing, you can do that. And then also we have the ability to attach files to customer records. Now, not only can you attach a file to a customer record, this is not the Heidi Klum picture. This is something totally different. You can create, and as long as it's not an executable like a program, you can have PDFs, spreadsheets, images, other file types, all associated with a customer record. So we have a lot of companies that do personalization. So for instance, if you have a company and you personalize pens or T-shirts or whatever, or logos, not only can you attach it here, but when you click on New Order, you can go ahead and you can say, okay, I want to buy the iPhone, so I put in a couple letters there. Now remember, it was $330 something, but if you were a wholesaler, what did you get it for? $287.50. So M.O.M. will automatically change the price for you. So you don't have to worry about your customer service reps remembering who's a wholesaler, editing, or changing the price. You can customize it and program it so that it'll do these things for you. In addition to that, let's say he, his wife wants a BlackBerry, so you can put in a BlackBerry, and I can say, okay, we want to buy a BlackBerry, and hey, would you also like to buy the car charger? Yeah, I didn't know it didn't come with it. Why don't you go ahead and add that to the order? So we can go ahead and we can do that. So they have a couple items there, the iPhone, the charger, and then the BlackBerry charger there. As far as sales information goes, I might want to ask them, how did you hear about us? So I can quickly hit F2. Oh, I saw that infomercial on TV. I know that it was a phone order, so I can quickly add F2 phone order. And I have that information there. At this point, I could put on the order total. How would you like me to ship it? And we'll say UPS. So we'll go ahead and it'll show me my comparable shipping. So these carrier charges are what the carrier, UPS, FedEx Ground, and Next Day, UPS Next Day Air is going to charge you. And these calculated charges are what you're going to charge the customer. So we'll go ahead and we'll select UPS at this point. So there's an issue here. Before I go ahead and give you my credit card number, which I happen to have on file, and you'll notice I have a bunch of asterisks here, and I see the last 4 digits. Before you charge my card, there's an issue. My wife does not like the touch screen. She doesn't like the touch phones. She wanted to have the BlackBerry, but she wants to make sure that it has the trackball and a full keypad. I like the iPhone, no problem with that, but she doesn't like the iPhone. She doesn't like any of that because she wants a full keypad. So do you know the customer is now on the phone, and he's asking me as a customer service rep, do you know if that BlackBerry has the full keypad? And I say, you know what, Mr. Fantozzi, I actually use an iPhone myself, so I'm not really sure. But Jim happens to work in the warehouse, and I believe he uses a BlackBerry. So I can say, okay, can I put you on hold for a minute? And I will run out over to find Jim real quick, and I'll see if he knows if this particular BlackBerry has the full keypad. And if I can find him in the warehouse, it might take me a little bit longer, but I'll come right back. But I'll try to find the BlackBerry in the warehouse. I'll get the box and I'll bring it over if I have to, and I'll tell you all the specs about it. So why don't I just put you on hold for just a moment, and I'll be right back. Hang on just a second. You all just lost a $525 order, because if anybody's like me, they're not going to be waiting on hold for you to go run into the warehouse to find out if that particular phone has a full keypad. I don't have time for that. Your customers don't have time for that. It's more valuable. So now that you begin using M.O.M., all you have to do is highlight that line item and click on More Info. And now, oh yeah, this has the full keypad. It has the trackball. It has these apps. This is when it was designed. It comes with this in iOS, the thumb wheel. Everything is all there. So you get to give your customer service reps the ability to add additional information. This is that extra level of customer service so that you can complete the order. So now he says, okay, great. My wife's going to be happy. I'm happy. I got the iPhone. She's got the car charger. I'm ready. The card that you had on file, why don't you go ahead and use that one and approve now. Now is when you cross your fingers and you hope that the card gets approved. If there's a reason why it's declined, it's going to tell you. Mom's going to give you a reason. The 3-digit CVV was invalid. The billing address didn't match the shipping address, etc. That's entirely up to you. However, you set your business rules, your payment authorizations. So we're happy. The order is done. We'll go ahead and we'll click on Save Order. So we're doing good on time. In that order, what I could have done, go in here to Will Pick, you'll notice that there's a little, paper clip where you can attach a file to the order. So we get a lot of customers, again, like I said, that do the personalization. If you didn't want to put the company logo associating it with the company record or where Heidi Klum was, and you want to attach it to the individual order. Maybe next year they're going to place an order and they rebrand or they change their logo. The next order that they place, you can actually attach a file right here and you can add different files to an individual order, and it allows you to browse, wherever you want. So we'll go into my C drive. I have a bunch of images, and we'll try using my Freestyle logo. Go ahead and we'll open that, save it, and now it adds it to the order. So I'm good there. I'm happy, and I go ahead and close. So we'll save that order. Now, what I'm going to do in the next few minutes, because I know we only have about 5 or 6 minutes left, I'm going to walk you through processing the orders. Now, the way that I'm going to do it is a little bit differently, maybe the exact way that you guys are going to do it. In the batch order processing, you'll notice that the packing slips are grayed out. That's because in those global settings that I showed you earlier, I'm using the Packers workstation as manually processing these orders. So I have that one order that we just generated. I also have more than one warehouse. You may not necessarily have to click that drop-down menu, but we'll go ahead and we'll process this order. So now my pick ticket should look like this. I'm just going to make it full screen for you. Now, I've gone on site to a lot of our prospects and a lot of our existing clients, and their warehouses are not very organized. So they don't necessarily name the bins. Okay, they don't have aisle 1, row 2, section 3, or whatever, which represents where the item is stored. If you don't do that, you don't have to worry about it. Mom generates a barcode. If you're using UPC codes, it's already built in. There's a field for the UPC code, but if you don't and you put those kits together, Mom will generate a barcode for you. But it makes things a little bit easier for the guys in the back if you do know what the bin location is. So now we go ahead and we imagine that we printed out our pick tickets. So go ahead and hit exit. They were printed successfully, and it continues on down. Now, do any of you have more than one warehouse? Okay, so if you don't have more than one warehouse, for those of you that do not, what I want you to do is just close one eye. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into the warehouse manager station. I do. So at 8 o'clock in the morning, you're the boss. The first thing you do is you come in and you go in and process the pick tickets. And now they're all waiting down on the printer down in the warehouse. At 8:06, your warehouse manager walks in and you could say, hey, I already printed out the pick tickets. They're waiting. Why don't you go ahead and assign those orders to the guy, whoever you want to be responsible for the order. Again, if you're not running multiple warehouses or you don't have more than one picker and packer in the warehouse, then you don't necessarily have to do this step. But just for the purpose of the demo, bear with me while I go in and say there's a new batch. Here's our order 2706, and who do I want to assign it to? And these are my 3 employees that are associated in my that are pickers and packers. So what I'll do is I'll assign this over to him, click on save. Now, 8:15, what do? You go into reports, profit by product report, and you could say for this particular month, I want to run a profit by product report. We'll view it in landscape, and let's see what this looks like. So here's my nice profit by product report. It shows me everything, the different stock items, how many units I sold, what the retail price was, if there was any discount associated with it, the gross sales, gross profit, and what my profit margin is. So you can see I have multiple pages here. So I did a bunch of orders, and I'm doing really well. Okay, great. At 8:35, okay, your shipper guy comes in, the one that's actually going to be doing the packaging. And what he does is he gives you, hey, I brought a box of Joe in, and he gives you your coffee, and you say, okay, great, I already printed out the pick tickets. The orders were assigned to you, so why don't you go ahead and start processing those orders. So his first click is going to be in the Packers workstation. Here's a bunch of orders that haven't been processed. They may be from yesterday that he just never got to or didn't get to in time before UPS or FedEx or the post office arrived. So for now, he'll double click on the order. This screen is where you would actually be able to do the barcode scanning. So if you did the barcode scanning, I'm just going to remove everything. Scan over the BlackBerry, bang, scan over the charger, comes over here, scan over the iPhone 6, comes over here, and now I'm ready to print out my packing slip. Now, like I said, I'm printing on a custom form. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. So I'll make it full screen. This here is the certified 4x6 stock label. You'll notice it doesn't have the header of the order number, the date, who the salesperson was. how'd you hear about us, the source key, which we said was the infomercial, and so on. And this is what I would actually peel off, put on the box, and then what's remaining kind of looks like an L. That's what we call it, the L form, and it has the receipt. So there's your packing slip / invoice. I'm combining them. So we'll go ahead and we'll print that out. And then your warehouse person can go on and print out, go into the next order. I'm not going to go through every single one of these orders, but the point is you get the idea. He can continue going on. Now, before the day ends, it's about, I don't know, 3:30, and you know UPS and FedEx, they usually get there around 4. So what we want to do is we want to make sure we print out our shipping manifest. So those 2 orders that I just printed out are ready to be printed. So I'm going to go ahead and process and get my shipping manifest ready. So we'll go ahead and we'll view that, and I'll show you how that comes out. Again, everything I'm doing right out of M.O.M. So our integration with the different carriers are all here. And it shows you what your shipping charges are, what the payments are. So we'll go ahead and we'll say we'll print that out. Everybody's happy. Now my system is live. So when I click on exit, it's going to try to send the file up to UPS's server, sending file to UPS. If you look in the top right here, but I'm going to get an error message. I'm not really shipping iPhones and BlackBerries. So I asked my programmers to write a little script to stop the file from actually transferring up to their server so that they would stop coming to our Parsippany headquarters to process those orders, pick up the boxes of iPhones. However, I do get the ability to print out this barcode summary report. So whether it was 1, 2, 1,000, 5,000 orders that you guys are processing each day, the driver doesn't have to scan each one of those boxes. He's just going to have to scan this one barcode, and that represents all the orders that were on, number of packages you can see here, 2, all the orders that were on that particular shipping manifest. So we're happy with that. Go ahead and click on print, and we're almost done for the day. At about 4:58, I guess, the last thing, or second to last thing that you'd want to do is you'll notice I have customer notices here. So we'll view the list, and I created a customer shipping confirmation notice called SH. So I want to fire those off and send them right out of the M.O.M. system. And I go ahead and I just emailed the customer his or her shipping confirmation notice, just like that. My batch should be completed. There should be, everything is in 0. Great. 4:59 on a Friday, I'm ready to go home. Before you do, you go into accounting, accounts receivable, and then you're going to post your AR. Now, you're not going to use M.O.M. to put your rent or your mortgage payment, your car payment or electricity bill, things like that. Those expenses you're going to really keep in your QuickBooks or your other accounting program. I don't have a full QuickBooks system connected, so I can't show you the summary data, which is redundant anyway. I already know all the order details because it's all stored within M.O.M. But here's just a quick example of the summary that I post over to QuickBooks. So you'd be able to send this over, the cost of goods sold. You could see the cash that was brought in, inventory value, sales. And then if you did receive any inventory, you can go ahead and do the same thing under accounting, accounts payable, and then you can go ahead and post your AP journal. Now, I don't know if I have any that I created yet. I didn't create any purchase orders. So that's pretty much it. That'll end the day. There's a whole bunch of other cool things that are built into M.O.M. From the list management, the dashboard. Like I said, I don't happen to have any orders that are on review, but you could see your user activity log, what time your employees log in and log out every day, the contact management log. We did schedule that one follow-up call. We completed one call, so I showed you how to do that. The packers, we can see the packers are logged into the system. They're processing those orders. The order activity, all merchandise shipped should be for that one order, 2706, looking great. Any expired quotes, we might want to know your staff activity, who's your most valuable customer, least valuable. You might want to know who's your most productive salesperson, so you kind of get to see that information there. That's all in the dashboard. So if you'd like, we can schedule a live one-on-one demo with you. Most likely you've been working with either Tracy or Laura or Anthony or Megan or one of our direct sales account executives, Rob, Tom, or Greg, or myself. So what you can do is just send us a quick email at sales@freestylesolutions.com. or you can shoot us or give us a nice call on 800-858-3666. That'll get in touch with one of us. You can click on 0 or just click 1 and it'll get you to the sales team, and then we can schedule a one-on-one follow-up. So with that, I appreciate all of your time. Thank you so much for spending it with me and going through some of the basics and some of the features and benefits of having an order management system like Multichannel Order Manager, or M.O.M. So thank you. Have a fantastic day.